we're in for another punishment, like another vote to punish. And I think like, and also, can we agree that there's no way that anybody can end up in the presidency now if not being a celebrity somehow? I gave you a prediction of who's going to be the next president of Mexico.
Yep.
Do you have a prediction of who's going to be the next president of the United States? I mean,
I think I have a 2032 prediction.
Okay.
I said this to Alessi Alaman, who used to be on the board here and works with me on the content side now and does an amazing job running the second and third channels. I said to him 3 years ago, I said I have about a 2 to 5% confidence interval on this. But I said probably not 2028, but 2032. I don't say this as a political statement. I just say this as analytical. And I think my confidence level is closer to 10% now. 2032, I could see Candace Owens running as a Democrat. Fuck. Yeah. Boomerang. Yeah, I could see that. But other than that, I got nothing for you. It's a wide open fucking everybody sucks, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, I get it.
I'll get a lot of shit for that prediction because people think that's crazy, and that's fair. But
yeah,
it's a fucking throw a dart at the board, look at the pieces on the board, and say it's getting interesting out here.
No Tucker?
So I've said this too. I just don't think Tucker will do it. But I've said if Tucker runs and if they don't kill him, and those are two really big ifs, yeah, he'll be president in 2028. I do not think he'll do it because of the two things I just said. But, you know, the thing about Tucker, regardless of what you think about like his political stances, just on a broad 30,000 foot view in the air, when you look at that, he can run to the right of woke and to the left of the neocons.
Yeah,
that's an interesting sweet spot.
He's riding a line that is a very interesting one. He just had Candace on.
Yeah,
and that's for me, like viewing that separation, like he was like something happened with the Charlie Kirk thing. I think that's the beginning of this weird separation I saw within the right out here, which is the right. I don't know.
I think that was the like just looking at it analytically, that was the boom moment, because then they just said, oh, here's what happened. We're good. Everyone go to this fucking WWE funeral. And that's the end of it. But there was a real fracture happening before that generationally.
Yeah.
And I think Tucker has picked the populace there on that fracture. And that fracture does have to do with Middle East wars.
That's why, like, I think we're in for another punishment, like another vote to punish. And I think like, and also, can we agree that there's no way that anybody can end up in the presidency now if not being a celebrity somehow?
I think that's
there's
some fair
no more
analysis.
I don't think we're going to see another Obama showing up, like this unknown politician just being groomed and like put forth. I think there has to be somebody that's been cultivating themselves. Yep. So you could be in the running.
Get the fuck out. I will. So I don't like saying never on things. I will never, ever run for public office.
It's exactly what you should.
Yeah, no. Not interested. Not interested.
It's interesting. For me, it's like looking around the room, the influence that you have, that people that speak like you have, and the ability for you to make somebody say like, hey, you know what? This guy's jiving with me on a daily basis when I listen to him. So let me just vote for this person. I think that's what I'm looking at now is like, where are we going to pull these new candidates from? It can't be traditional people who are linked to all the shit in the past, because there's a lot of sin in the past now. A lot of people who are involved with other countries and all this other shit. So who are the outsiders in this political class?
You know what? Tell me what you think of this, but you know, we've seen Mom Donnie win on like a people's campaign in New York, and he's got some fucking crazy politics that I think is nuts.
He's nuts.
But if you just look at like the strategy of him as like a brand, obviously he did a brilliant job.
Yep.
And he's turned himself into kind of a celebrity from the politician side. I do still think that's possible for like someone who is not, say, an influencer or a commentator or a celebrity like from Hollywood or something like that, who is coming from the political side but makes them into that modern day Obama celebrity. I could see that happening. I agree with you the chips are more stacked against that side now, for sure. Like Mark Cuban has a better shot at, like, I don't know if that's a good example, but you get my point. Like, has a better shot at like creating a political brand tomorrow and self-funding the beginning of it, at least, than, you know, some politician that needs to go ask for grassroots donations.
Do you think that any sort of support of Israel is going to be politically bad?
It's a political death knell.
And that, which means that you just cut out almost every single politician in the United States, I think.
Not all of them, because some of them are it's getting so unpopular that some are actually able to do something. Now people right away say, well, Thomas Massie just got voted out. Here's the thing about Thomas Massie's election. It was a primary, just on the right side. It was a closed primary, so you have to be a registered Republican. The lowest turnout votes in America, regardless of the attention on them or not, are always primary votes in Congress and stuff like that. That's not like the presidential race. And the people who vote in those elections statistically the most are the very old people. And those are the people who are watching like the Miriam Adelson ads on Fox News. So Ed Galrain was able to win. And like you could probably see that coming. But if you think that that's going to be like a long-term trend in main elections, I think you're nuts. I think that the Epstein issue and right now the actions of the current Israeli government are two of the most bipartisan kumbaya positions in the history of modern history, at least in this country.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not to, by the way, it's not to say like, I need to therefore treat Israel as my number one enemy or something like that. No, but we need to unwind the influence. We need to be our own country. We need to stop listening to them to go fight their wars and do shit like that. And we need to have things like AIPAC register under FARA and not give foreign aid to have their weapons so they can bomb other people. That's their business if they're going to do that, and I'll disagree with it. Okay,
another question is me being a representative of Mexico right now. Let's say that happens. That influence goes away and, you know, you don't have that influence anymore. You don't get drawn into any foreign wars that aren't your own. You don't get sent. You don't have to send your kids out there anymore. As a country, now what? You know, no wars. Like you have the decision making here. No more foreign wars. What would you do as an American country now? Like, let's see. Like, what are we going to focus on now?
So I think there's two answers there. Number one is I'm not a pure isolationist, and here's what I mean by that. I think war is hell. I think it is the last scenario you ever want to go to.
It is hell on earth.
But I recognize that the world is a really fucked up, complicated place, and there is a time and place where something like that may be necessary. I think that the actions that we've gotten into, though, in recent history have not been at that bar.
Yeah.
Okay? The second thing is, and this is a really dark part of human nature, but there's moments in the studio that sometimes it won't be a moment that like people out there pick up on as much, but like I'm in here with people and it'll like really, like when it's happening, I'm like, whoa, chills, like holy shit, wait, what the fuck was that? And one of the biggest ones that ever happened for me was the second time I talked with Andy Bustamante, who's definitely still in the CIA, back in summer 2022 for episode 107. We got drunk on whiskey that episode. And we're just going back and forth for 3.5 hours. And maybe like an hour 45, hour 50 minutes in, he does this thing where we're going back and forth on something. And he goes, we need an enemy that we can all coalesce around.
Yeah.
And this is a very politically divisive, like crazy time. This is when we're coming out kind of like the pandemic stuff and people are all pissed at each other here. He's like, we need an enemy that we can all agree on.
Yeah.
And there is something really dark in human nature in large groups and in these stories that we call countries around the world where, unfortunately, that's always true. And the other unfortunate part is that 9 times out of 10 where we decide to pick one, it's a totally unnecessary one.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know what to do with that because that is our nature. But that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to look at other people as like, I want to find why you're an enemy. That's the most fucked up thing ever. I mean, look at the job I do. I make friends with people around the world.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't be a good leader, by the way. You know, that's just not it's not my role because those guys have to make some decisions sometimes where you have to look for the bad before you look for the good in people.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.